court here at the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland. Happy holidays, everyone, from all of us at 2K Sports. And do we have a present for you today? This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. Take a look at the 76ers. It's an opportunity for them to play in a heated matchup like this, to play your best basketball. These are the games, guys, that show how well you match up against the other great teams in the league.
And this should be fun, guys. They see this team a lot, 4 times during the regular season. And so far, they've split the first 2. So they seem pretty evenly matched. A chance to build some confidence with a win tonight.
Yeah, I think they're really highly motivated in this one. I mean, it becomes a pretty good chess match at this point. As you mentioned, both teams evenly matched. You've seen each other a few times. You know each other's tendencies. And the coaches really can factor in games and situations like this.
Now a look at Philadelphia's starting lineup. We've got Robert Covington, Okafor out there with Noel. Then there's Ezail Iverson. And it's Roten in at the guard position.
That's a terrific sequence at both ends of the floor. They block the shot and recover it for the fast break finish.
And guys, for everything we've said about Kyrie Irving over the years, now let's talk about maybe another area, and that is his willingness to give up the ball. LeBron came to town at the beginning of last season. Kyrie didn't even flinch at the prospect of being 1B to 1A. To me, that was a very selfless way of giving the mantle of that team over to LeBron.
I agree with you, and there was some question as to whether Kyrie would be able to do that at this point in his career, but ultimately that's what champions do. Kobe did it for Shaq, Robinson did it for Tim Duncan, and that's really what great players do.
So it's Philadelphia now, following the score by Cleveland, and he gets the bucket. Covington's got his first 3 points of the game.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Irving kicks to Mozgov. He feeds it to LeBron. Dishes it to Dellavedova. It's a pick by Love. Clock at 6. And Okafor with the block. And about 2 minutes played here in the first quarter. 76ers moving the ball around. Now here's Iverson. 14 points from him the last game against New York.
And getting back to Kyrie, many felt the addition of LeBron would cut down on Kyrie's playmaking opportunities. But Kyrie was near his career average in assists last season. That even further indicates how seamlessly the two superstars were able to gel.
You know, talking about the effect LeBron had on Kyrie last year, they looked fantastic working together, but the stat sheet also bared that out. Kyrie hit over 40% of his threes for the first time in his career, and he posted the lowest turnover rate of his career, too.
Now here's Roten. 8 points his last outing, and plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up. The 76ers shooting their first free throws of the game. That's good from Noel.
And it's strange to think that early last year, all the talk in the media was about the in-house fighting on the Cavs. Goes to show just how much better things are for a team when they're winning.
Now here's LeBron. 23 points for him the last game against Oklahoma City.
Yeah, but he set up shop at the free throw line. I mean, he just could not be defended out on the floor. And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Here's Roten. He averages a bit over 6 points a game. Okafor sets the pick for Roten. Pass to Okafor. He nails it, and we're tied up. Well, as rough as the Cavs might have started the season, Clark, they were all at peace near the end. Things turned around certainly after the All-Star break. Had their amazing playoff run, great momentum, and that confidence showed every game they played.
Really did, and I thought the big three found a way to come together nicely and smooth out the rough spots, and James, Irvin, and Love ended up being the highest scoring trio in the league last year.
Once again off the mark by Cleveland. The 76ers have gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. The pass to Iverson. Lets the 3 fly. It's rebounded by Cleveland. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
And listen, you have to take advantage of the freebies. And on that night, they did not, and that is why they just could not recover.
Exactly. I mean, they left too much cheese at the foul line. And in the end, it mattered on the scoreboard and cost them.
And it's the Cavaliers with the ball. Philadelphia able to drain the three. Good!
Shots are just flowing for him right now, having a really strong quarter.
Looking at Philadelphia, they want to turn it around after the loss to New York.
And you don't have to go too deep into the box score to figure out why they lost that one. They just had an inability on that day to make shots.
You know, sometimes we talk about a defense getting into the heads of the opposing players, Greg, but that night, they got up in their own heads, just got in their own way and couldn't get out of it.
And Cleveland making a change here. Thompson's checked in. No good on the second free throw.
And for Kevin Love, such a big part of that Minnesota Timberwolves franchise. I mean, they drafted him 5th overall back in 08, and really he had been their catalyst his entire career. Even last year when he decided he finally wanted out, he helped the Wolves land Andrew Wiggins in the trade that shook the league.
And here's James outside. The shot, no good. And it's Philadelphia the other way. Allen Iverson on the wing. The feed to Roten. Covington passes to Okafor. That's basket number 2 with his 3rd shot off to a fast 2 for 3. Well, Kevin Love, and we've kind of gone over some things in Minnesota with Greg, but Clark, Kevin Love probably wasn't long for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, it was time for fresh scenery, and that's why the Cavs offered up the house, including Wiggins, who eventually became Rookie of the Year, for the chance to get Love.
Williams, he's checked in for the Cavaliers. And Philadelphia also making a switch. Carlos Boozer's checked in for Noel. The screen from Thompson. James dishes to Irving. Here's Thompson. And another miss by Cleveland. The 76ers leading by 3. And here's Covington from the arc. Shot is no good.
And it doesn't even matter that he's surrounded on that possession. He's got the size to pull those boards down anyway.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And one thing about Tristan Thompson, he is an absolute terror on the offensive glass. Was top 5 in that category last year, despite playing less than 27 minutes a game. Does a terrific job with anticipation of the carom and uses his gigantic wingspan to just go up and reel it in. Terrific motor and nose for the glass.
And Cleveland making a change here. Smith has checked in. Pass to Boozer. The feed to Landry. Love against Boozer. Passes to Thompson. Out to the wing. Second chance shot. The 76ers with another miss. Greg, you were talking about Tristan Thompson. LeBron came out and said he's one of the best pick-and-roll defenders in the NBA. And Clark, that's high praise from the King.
No doubt. I mean, Thompson is an emerging force. If he could just develop his shooting stroke a little more, then you're talking about a very, very valuable player.
Good point. Kyrie Irving may be the best ball handler in the league. There are a lot of guys with a good handle. He is definitely in the top 5. If not, he's got to be in the conversation.
Arguably the most talented player at his position. I mean, he can get wherever he wants to on the court. He's athletic, an unbelievable finisher as well. I think that's something that oftentimes gets underrated. Maybe the best finisher in the game.
Agreed. The Cavaliers trailing. Here's Thompson. The shot is off. Boozer with the defensive effort. From deep, trying to get open is Irving. It's rebounded by Cleveland.
And, you know, Kyrie Irving really ambidextrous as a ball handler because you can't play him to one side, and he's ambidextrous as a finisher, too. He's so creative and crafty. Terrific at the rim with both hands.
Now Williams following the miss by J.R. Smith from deep. And Thompson kicks to Smith. Right wing. Love the pass to Irving. Outside Williams. This one for three. Thompson with the rebound.
And one thing about Irving's ball handling, he does a great job of protecting the ball. A very low rate of turnovers for a player as aggressive as he is on the bounce.
It's been a very efficient first quarter for him. He's creating good opportunities and converting those that he creates.
And the Cavaliers call time here.
You know, for Carlos Boozer, last year was a bit peculiar. I mean, after being a key player for several playoff teams throughout his career, he landed on the Lakers where the playoffs were nowhere in sight. Tough environment for a veteran to succeed in.
Jefferson's checked in for Kyrie Irving. Kennedy's checked in for Philadelphia. Now here's Thompson. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Love wide open, he fires. And another miss by Cleveland. And getting back to Boozer, last year he was claimed off amnesty waivers by the Lakers. Now Los Angeles paid $3.25 million of his salary, while the Bulls paid the remaining $13.5 million of his salary.
And getting away from the contract, you know, he actually had a decent year. Shot over 50% from the field, strong rebounds per minute average. I mean, he's a professional. He went in and did his job.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
No, it always is, and it has been so far, and they've gotten a nice edge on the glass.
Now, here's Thompson, looking for his first basket still in this one. Grant against Jefferson. 4 on the clock. There's Cannon with the three. It's rebounded by Jefferson, and Carl Landry picks up the foul. That's his first foul. Cunningham, he's checked in for Cleveland. And then for Philadelphia, Nick Stauskas comes in for Grant, and Kendall Marshall subbed in for Hollis Thompson. It's a pick by Love. 55 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Buries the long-range jumper. Love's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. And Marshall kicks to Boozer. Down low. Here's Landry. And he can't bank that one in. Here is Cunningham. It's a pick by Love. Cunningham dishes it to Love. Out of bounds, Philadelphia takes possession.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
.23 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. And here is Marshall, screened by Boozer. The dish to Stauskas to the wing right side. Marshall passes to Boozer. Feeds it to Cannon. Now Landry cans the 12-footer. Landry's got 6 points.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close. 76ers lead by 3. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. And LeBron James trying to